Hi, today we're going to learn how to make quesadillas. They're they're my favorite thing to make. I can't make brownies, I can't make spaghetti, I burn everything, but with quesadillas it's like 5 minutes on the stove and you're done. So first we're going to talk about the ingredients and the tools you'll need, and then we're going to talk about the assembly and how to properly put it together so you don't have a giant mess. And then finally, we'll talk about the benefits of having the skills to make quesadillas and why it helps society. So first, we're going to talk about the ingredients. You have a couple seasonings. You have paprika, garlic powder, cayenne pepper, ground cumin. Then you can add salt and pepper to your taste. You have jalapenos, juice, and mayonnaise, and I know it's weird, but stick with me. Then you'll need tortillas, any of your choice. Doesn't matter if it's hard or not, but you shouldn't use hard. And then you have as many different cheeses as you want. I just chose these ones because they're my favorite and they have a lot of variety in them. Yeah. And then for tools, and then sugar. Yeah, you always need sugar. You'll need a 1/4 cup measuring thing. You'll need a teaspoon, and you will need a bowl. I didn't add it, but I brought it with me. I personally use like a baby spoon to dip into the actual container of the spice so that you don't make a mess because the teaspoon is too big to fit into the container. So I dipped a little baby spoon in, and then I put it on the spoon, and then I measure it out. I just feel like it's simpler. It's just an extra step if you want to be not messy. And then you need a pan and a spatula. With the spatula, it doesn't have to be plastic or metal. It can just even be a fork. It just depends on how many dishes you want to dirty. I don't like to dirty dishes, but with this recipe, you only need a spoon, the baby spoon if you want to be not messy, a pan, a bowl, and then a spatula. You only need these 4, and it's super easy. Takes 25 minutes, so I recommend it if you can get past the mayonnaise part. For the recipe, it's 1/4 cup mayo, 2 teaspoons of jalapeno juice, 3/4 teaspoons of sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of cumin powder, 1/2 teaspoon of paprika, 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and then 1/8 of a teaspoon of garlic powder. And it does take like a couple minutes to measure, but that's like the 5 minutes that are most crucial. Because if you put too much of one thing, you messed up. You can't go back from that. You just start all over, and that's a waste. Okay. Now, the second thing we're going to talk about is the assembly. So after you put all the, yeah, I know it looks gross, okay? I know. But after you put all the spices and the mayo and the juice, and you stir it, you have to chill it for like a minute or two. And this is where you can either decide to cook your chicken or your steak. I personally didn't have the money to get it, so I didn't do it. And so without the chicken or steak, it's under $25 to get everything you need. And I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, it looks gross, but trust me, it looks way better once it's cooked. It turns into a nice light orange, and it's really appealing, I promise. So the next step after stirring everything together is you put the tortilla of your choice onto the pan. You put it on low heat, and you let it start to bubble just a teeny tiny bit, okay? Just a teeny tiny bit, because if you let it bubble too much, it's going to cook too long, and then it's going to be gross. So after you have your tortilla cooking for just a little bit, you add your sauce to either half the tortilla, depending on if you have the chicken or not, or you add it to all of it if you're just doing a cheese quesadilla. The reason why you only do it halfway is because if you put the chicken on the whole thing, when you fold it over, there's going to be a dead center spot where the chicken builds up, and then the rest won't like flow to the edge. And it's really awkward when you take a bite and all you taste is chicken and no sauce or cheese. And then, like, you add the cheese of your choice, like I said, either halfway or the full way. I'm doing cheese quesadilla, so I did it the whole way. And then when it started, the color of the sauce started to turn a nice brown, as you can see. Not brown, like yellowish orange like that. That's when you know it's time to flip it and start to brown the outside of it. So I flip it. It's still pretty pale, like me. And you're just like, okay, it's not ready. Then you wait a minute exactly. And then you flip it, and the other side's perfect. It's not too hard, it's not too soft, it's the right amount of crunch when you bite in, and it will keep the tortilla together. Ooh, no, Jack. Sorry. And with the assemble, this is how it looks when it's done. This is just an example. It's nice and like colorful, but not too colorful like black, because then it's gonna just taste hard. You don't want that. You want yummy cheese quesadilla. For the final point I want to talk about is the benefits. Not only is it a fun time to cook it because it kind of gets messy, and if you like messy stuff, it's for you. I was always a messy child. I always played in the mud and stuff. So this was fun. I get to play with sauce and stuff. It's cool. But if you're not, it's still fun because you like get to measure everything, and I find it really satisfying if you have too much spices in the spoon and you get to just like flick it off. I think that's really satisfying. That's just me. It may not be you. That's okay. But besides that, because you know how to cook a quesadilla, you can totally brag to anyone. Like you can brag to your nephews, your sisters, your brothers, your mom, because she can't cook anything except anything that's out of the fridge. That's personal experience. Sorry. And then for the biggest reason why it's such a benefit is the economical value it has. Going out and buying stuff really helps fuel the economy. Even if it's just a bracelet or if it's an apple, it still fuels the economy because the trading and all that. So it really does help. So today we learned how to make a quesadilla, the steps, the prep, everything you need, the assembly, and the benefits. And I hope you use this recipe because I wrote it down. If you want it, you can ask me. I'll give it to you. And it's really yummy if you get past the mayo aspect. Yeah.
Great job.